From Staten Island University Hospital Community Park, CSI Sportsnet brings to you NCAA Division II baseball action live on the ECC network. Tonight's doubleheader features the Tigers of Holy Family University taking on the College of Staten Island Dolphins. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nicholas Pavona, and I will bring you tonight's contest between the Tigers and the Dolphins. The Dolphins coming off their huge win on Friday, defeating Caldwell by a final of 7-1. Tigers coming into this game 3-3. They are also looking to pick up a win after losing in their previous game, as these two teams get their first official game between each other underway in their season series. They have not played one game yet. There was supposed to be a game last year between these two teams, if I'm not mistaken, and the game was canceled. Now they get some action here tonight. Now a little bit of a delay here for this game, obviously. This game was scheduled to start at 5 o'clock, but we had NYU playing beforehand. A little bit of a late game for them, as their second game ended just about 10 minutes ago. And now we get underway here. Been about a few minutes here at SIUH Community Park. It'll be a couple times to say that tonight. But as I mentioned, the Dolphins coming off a huge win on Friday, defeating Caldwell University by the final of 7-1. And that was a game in which the Dolphins had a lot of things going their way. A really strong performance from Ryan Kehoe. 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 4 walks, 12 strikeouts in that game. Magnificent performance from Kehoe coming off of his first start of the season. The Dolphins bullpen did their job as well, allowing just 1 hit in 2 innings relief, or 3 innings relief, I should say. And then on the offensive side of the game, the Dolphins took advantage of some mistakes that the Cougars had in that one. 3 balks from Caldwell in that game, leading to a bunch of Dolphin runs. And the Dolphins took advantage of that, as I mentioned, and would take that 7-1 win. We saw an RBI from A.J. Vigliotti in the first inning, giving the Dolphins the 1-0 lead. Michael Palermo giving the Dolphins a huge spark in the bottom of the second inning. A 2-run single into left center field. That one came after one of the first official balks of the game for the Cougars, giving the Dolphins a 3-0 lead at the time. Caldwell would trim the deficit to 3-1. Dolphins would get in the 5th inning. The Dolphins would get that run back in the bottom of the 7th on a fielder's choice RBI for Brian Burkhead. And then the Dolphins in the 8th inning would put the game out of reach. Anthony Sotero with an RBI double. Then it was Palermo with an RBI groundout. And then Michael Kehoe got his first hit of the game with an RBI double to give the Dolphins a 7-1 win, which would be the final of that game. And then another game in which the Dolphins had everyone in their lineup besides one batter have a hit in that game. So the Dolphins had a lot of things going their way on both sides of the ball. Really good offensive and defensive performance from them as well. And now they come here to the night with a doubleheader against Holy Family, trying to take these 2 games. And if they are able to take both games tonight, the Dolphins would go to 500 on the season, going to a record of 4-4. Dolphins right now are starting to make their way out into the field. So we'll get to see them out in action. And the first chance I get, ladies and gentlemen, I will give you the starting lineups for both of these teams. And I think I have them just right now. For the Tigers, they will lead off with Brian Comer. Devin DeVera will bat second and play second. Comer is in center field leading off. Batting third will be the third baseman, John Martinez. Batting fourth in right field is Zach Morales. Batting fifth at first base is Dalton Turner. Batting sixth in left field is Stefan Leo. Batting seventh and the designated hitter is Dylan Mercedes. It's been a long day here at Staten Island University Hospital Community Park. Batting seventh is the catcher, Emilio Bucci. He was batting eighth, and then batting ninth, and at shortstop is number 4, Gino Saracchia. And on the mound for the Tigers tonight in their first game is Ricky Glasscock. So he is the starter for the Tigers. And they will face CSI's starter, Gerard Santos, who gets the start for CSI tonight. This will be Santos' second start of the season. I will bring you the stats he had in his previous start against Wilmington. A very good, strong start for the Dolphins starter right there against the Wildcats. For the Dolphins, for their lineup tonight, leading off is the center fielder Michael Kehoe. Batting second in the left field is Michael Palermo. Batting third and behind the plate is A.J. Vigliotti. Batting fourth and in right field, number 14, Chris Polemini. Batting fifth at second base is Anthony Sotera. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, Jaden Waterman. Batting seventh at first base is Thomas Martin. Batting eighth at third base is Owen Weber. And batting ninth at shortstop is Nicholas Rodriguez. And as I mentioned, Gerard Santos, the Dolphins starter in this one. And Santos coming off, as I mentioned, a really strong performance his first time out for CSI. 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs. Both were not earned, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, and his first official start as a CSI Dolphin. And he gets the mound here for game number 1 of this doubleheader. As the first pitch is called for a strike. That one called for a strike as well. Quickly a 2 strike count for Santos right here. That one misses inside. Count now 1-2. That one chopped behind the plate, foul. Brian Comer leading off for the Tigers right here. I'll try to get you Comer's stats in just a second. Another 1-2 right here from Santos. That one chopped right back to him. And a nice flip onto first base from Santos right there to record the first out of the inning. Devon Devera now at bat for the Tigers right here. Great job by Santos. He chopped it right back to him. Had to react very quickly to that one and record the first out of this game. That one misses on the outside. On Friday, we had a 1-hour delay due to the umpires not being here for the start of our game against Caldwell. It was a good sight to see that they walked in as soon as the last game that we had here with NYU were here. As we get the 1-1. Hit into center field. And a long run, and it's going to be dropped. Keogh could not track that one down. It goes off of his glove, and that's going to go down as an E8 for the Dolphins. That was a tough one for Keogh right there. Ball kept carrying into center field. We saw a lot of that on Friday with the ball carrying. And early on, the Dolphins now have a runner. Will try to avoid getting that runner from second home as they will look to get out of this inning unscathed. So that one's foul tipped, 0-1. John Martinez at the plate for the Tigers right here. One misses high, 1-1. One from Santos. That one misses inside. Now it's 2-1. Martinez on the young season hitting 125. Looking for his first RBI right here if he can get a base hit. That one hit into left field. That's going to be trouble. It is gone. And Martinez will get his first RBIs of the season. It's a 2-run homer, and the Tigers take an early 2-0 lead. So the Tigers taking advantage of an early Dolphin mistake with that error in center field, and Martinez delivering with a huge home run, giving his team an early 2-0 lead. So Zach Morales now comes up with one away. Now a 2-0 lead for his team. As that one up the middle, going to be a tough play for Sotero. Throw on to first, not going to be in time. A slow roller up the middle, and not really much of a chance for Sotero to make the play there. That's going to be an infield single for Morales. Here's a second look at the home run in the previous at-bat from John Martinez. Towering shot into left field. No chance right there for Palermo to make the catch. That first pitch missed for a ball, 1-0. This is Dalton Turner coming up now for the Tigers. On the air, he's hitting .294, 3 RBIs, and a .353 slugging percentage. So he's had a nice start to the season, and he's quickly up in the count 2-0. 2-0 inside, call for a strike, now 2-1. Chance for Santos here. If he can get a double play ball, could get out of the inning. 2-1. That one called for a strike, and it's 2-2. Joe Foreman and I talked about the Dolphins' resiliency these past couple of seasons. So an early 2-0 deficit for them. They'll have to come back in this one as Santos gets him to swing there for strike 3. Big punch out right there from Santos as he got Turner to swing and miss. And he's 1 out away from keeping this a 2-run game. Stefan Leo will now come up. And he takes a big swing and a miss for a strike, 0-1. Beautiful night here in Staten Island. Lights are currently on as we have 2 night games here. So that one is on the outside in the dirt for a ball. A rare 2 night games here for us at Staten Island University Hospital Community Park. We'll be back here for another night game here next week as the Dolphins will once again take on Caldwell University. As that one swung on and missed for a strike, and it's 1-2. So Santos now a strike away from getting out of the inning and keeping this game 2-0. As he throws back to first to check the runner. Another 1-2. Got him for strike 3. And Santos needed that one. A major strikeout right there to end the inning. But not before the Tigers pounce for 2 runs on 2 hits, and including the 1 Dolphin error. We go to the bottom of the first inning. Dolphins come to bat for the first time. They trail this one, 2-0.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
And we are back from Staten Island University Hospital Community Park. The Tigers taking an early 2-0 lead on a 2-run homer from John Martinez. And now the Dolphins will come to bat for the first time tonight, looking to try to get back into this game. They will face Ricky Glasscock on the mound tonight for the Tigers. In his last start, Glasscock went 4 innings, allowed 3 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts against Virginia State. And he will get the start tonight for the Tigers. And he's got an early 2-0 lead off of that home run from Martinez. And that will lead off for the Dolphins. It will be Michael Kehoe. He will get the start in center field. We saw him catching in the Dolphins' last game against Caldwell as he takes a first pitch strike 0-1. Kehoe on the young year hitting .238. That 1 RBI coming in that last Dolphin game as he works the count now to 1-1. Kehoe getting the start in center field. Would love to get on base. Try to get the Dolphins a kind of a spark as that one bounces near the Dolphin dugout for a ball, 2-1. 2-1. Kehoe having a duck away from that one as the count now goes to 3-1. So a lot of that in the Dolphins' last game. Dolphins working the count and forcing the Cougars to make a couple substitutions on the mound. As the 3-1 comes, and misses inside for ball 4. So high and away, misses, and the Dolphins have an early base runner. Michael Palermo now comes up for CSI. He made a huge impact on Friday with that 2-run single to give the Dolphins at that point in the game a 3-0 lead. Love to get something into the gap to potentially bring home Kehoe if possible. As he shows bunt, misses high at 1-0. So early on, Glasscock with a little bit of command issues. He's only throwing 1 strike. The first 6 pitches that he's thrown. You have to believe Palermo will show bunt again here, especially with the speed advantage of Kehoe at first. He does, and again misses high. And quickly, a 2-0 count for Palermo. Palermo on the year hitting 300, 5 RBIs. That's tied for the Dolphin lead so far in the young season as he shows bunt again. And now let's call for a strike, 2-1. Misses low for ball 3. So second straight batter, the Dolphins have worked the count to 3-1. And they have a chance to have the first 2 base runners get on without getting a single hit. And especially with the big bat of A.J. Vigliotti on deck. CSI would love to have that. Kehoe goes. And the Dolphins were going for a hit and run right there as Palermo swings and misses it foul. And the Cow will now go full to 3-2. So we saw Kehoe go on that last pitch. With a full count now here at 3-2, you would tend to think he'll go again. 3-2, Palermo trying to get something here. And the check Kehoe, ball goes past the first baseman, and Kehoe is going to get into second base. We saw the Dolphins take advantage of a lot of mistakes that Caldwell had on Friday, and now they'll look to take advantage right here. As Glasscock was trying to pick him off at first base, and it went all the way near the Tiger bullpen. So now the Dolphins with a runner in scoring position. A single for Palermo could certainly bring home Kehoe right here. 3-2. That one lined to short. And off of the glove of the shortstop, and that's going to be, and we'll see how they score that one as Palermo gets into first with a single, if I had to guess. That ball was hit hard to short. A.J. Vigliotti comes up for the Dolphins. If it were up to me, I would say that would be a single. I am not the statistician, so we'll see how they score that next door. Early mound visit for the Tigers right here, and they're facing a tough hitter in A.J. Vigliotti. Vigliotti on the young year, 350, a home run, and also tied for the team lead in RBIs with 5. After this next pitch, we'll get a replay of that previous at-bat. So that one misses high for a ball, 1-0. And they might count that as an error, and they are going to count that as an error. If you look back at the replay, the ball was hit, and the shortstop did have his glove down. That one misses for a ball, 2-0. Sergio definitely had a chance to make the play right there, but just bounced off of his glove. So the Dolphins still are hitless, but now have first and second, nobody out. Quickly, Vigliotti has a 3-0 count. (3-0) count for Vigliotti. You have to think he'll tend to take right here and not swing. And he certainly thought that was a ball. And I am of the notion that he might be right. Looked a little bit on the outside corner. They're going to call that a strike, so the count now goes to 3-1. Something into the gap for Vigliotti could bring home both. As he hits that one foul, and now the count goes full 3-2. So the conversation next door was asking if, I'll bring that in a second, as the Dolphins will get the bases loaded. Ball did go behind the backstop. The Dolphins will not elect to go home. So they will have bases loaded, still nobody out. So Chris Polamini will now come up, and what a big spot right here. Bases loaded, nobody out. A single could bring home both runs for the Dolphins to tie this game. Now, as I was alluding to, the conversation next door was, does the pitcher get an error on that pickoff attempt? As the Tigers are already warming up a pitcher, and their bullpen could be potentially the Game 2 starter for them. As Polamini takes a strike, 0-1. So right now on the scoreboard, we have 2 runs, 2 hits, 2 errors for the Tigers. Dolphins looking still for their first hit and run with the lone error they had in the top of the first. As that one's called for a strike on the outside corner, it's 0-2. Polamini on the year with a scorching .478 batting average, 3 RBIs, and a home run. Looking to add some RBIs right here, but he's down the count 0-2. And he swings and misses for strike 3. A huge punch out for Glasscock to get the first out of the inning. So Anthony Sotero now comes up for the Dolphins. He's hitting .333 on the year, 2 RBIs. Had one of them in the game against Caldwell. As that one's called for a strike. And this is a situation where the Dolphins need to at least try to get 1 run. This could really hurt them in the long run. If the Dolphins were to lose this game, this could be the inning to look back on, as Sotero will hit that one behind us in foul territory, and he's quickly down the count 0-2. So early on, Glasscock had some command issues, but has now thrown 5 straight strikes and is now 1 strike away again from the second out of the inning. Here's 0-2 to Sotero. That one chopped down the third base line, and they're going to call a foul. So the count will remain 0-2. That one was a close play at third base, but definitely was the right call. Sotero will have another 0-2 right here. 1 away. Tigers leading 2-0. Oh, 2 again. And that one is swung on a miss for strike 3. So Glasscock with back-to-back strikeouts, and he's now 1 out away from getting out of a bases loaded, nobody out jam. So that'll bring up Jaden Waterman. It will be up to him to try to extend the inning for CSI. Waterman hitting 182 with 3 RBIs on the year. The Dolphins would love him to get on base in some sort of capacity right here, as he takes the first pitch, strike 0-1. Certainly has been a long inning for Glasscock, but he is 1 out away from getting out of this jam. The 0-1. Looks like that one just missed high. It's 1-1. Looks to be that Glasscock's about around 24, 25 pitches right now in this first inning. 1-1. That one misses high, 2-1. Dolphins got their first 3 runners on. They are 1 out away from not bringing home any of them. Can they get something here with Waterman? 2-1. That one misses outside. A great play by the catcher right there, as Bucci just saved a run from coming in. So count now goes to 3-1. So Waterman is 1 ball away from working a walk and giving the Dolphins their first run of the game. That one is hit into center field, but right towards the center fielder, Comer, for the final out of the inning. And how about Glasscock right there, ladies and gentlemen? Bases loaded, nobody out, and he's able to get out of the inning unscathed and keep his team up 2 runs as we go to the top of the second. Tigers lead this one, 2-0.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials, live music, and the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Top of the second inning here at Staten Island University Hospital Community Park. Tigers still lead this one 2-0. An inning that the Dolphins would certainly love to have back. Dolphins were able to get the bases loaded, nobody out. But 2 straight punch-outs and then a fly ball to center field got Glasscock out of the inning. It keeps his team up 2-0 as they will lead off the top of the second, still with a 2-run lead. Still a Mercedes, the designated hitter. He will lead off. 7, 8, and 9 for the Tigers of the inning. 0-1 from Santos. Call for a strike, 0-2. And quickly, Santos makes work of Mercedes as he gets him down swinging for the first out of the inning. So Emilio Bucci now comes up for the Tigers here with 1 away. Glasscock throwing 29 pitches in that first inning. Was able to work out of that jam as there's a strike 0-1. Santos now at 26 through 22 in that first inning. As that one is on the outside, misses for a ball, 1-1. 1-1. Half-hearted swing. Call for a strike, 1-2. One-two drilled into right field, but caught for the second out of the inning. Right place, right time for Polamini right there to make the catch. So Cerrecchia will come up with 2 away here in the second. And a chance for Santos to go 1-2-3 in the inning. So that one's called for a strike, 0-1. That one misses outside for a ball, 1-1. That one swung on and missed, and it's now 1-2. Cerrecchia on the air hitting 182. It's not recorded an RBI yet. Trying to keep the inning going here for the Tigers. So that one misses on the outside, 2-2. A lot of twos on the board so far. 2-2 count with 2 away. The Tigers with 2 runs on 2 hits and 2 errors. As that one is called for strike 3. And a nice 1-2-3 inning from Gerard Santos. As the Dolphins will now go into the bottom of the second inning, looking to get their first runs of the game. They trail this one, 2-0.
No, I'm right. The podcast that uncovers the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Nick Durst here along with Joe Calabrese.
Here we are, 200 episodes later, about 150 episodes with guests, our friends, soon to be your friends.
Well, it's pretty clear, Joe, that it's all about You Know I'm Right, the podcast. That's my You Know I'm Right moment. Wanted to do a podcast, and everyone was like, what are you, crazy? Who's going to listen? You're not going to get guests. Well, guess what? I'm the best when it comes to getting guests. You could vouch for that.
I am so happy that you asked me to do this. I couldn't have been more thrilled. And follow us on socials, check us out. I promise you, if you want to work in media, whether you work in media now, whether you want to quit your job and work in media, come to us, and I promise you, we will get you on the right foot.
That's what it's all about, uncovering the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Keep it locked on You Know I'm Right.
Bottom of the second inning here at Staten Island University Hospital Community Park. A 2-0 lead still for the Tigers as Gerard Santos with a quick 1-2-3 top of the second inning. And now the Dolphins will try to get something here in the bottom of the second after missing out in that bottom of the first inning. As I mentioned, CSI with the bases loaded were not able to bring home a run. See if Thomas Martin can do something about that here in the bottom of the second. Try to get on to lead off the inning as he takes the ball 1-0. You know, Martin certainly has that home run capability. We saw a bunch of those last season for him. Dolphins would just like him to get on base to try to spark something here. As he's up at the count 2-0. And now he misses low for ball 3. So a quick 3-0 count here for Martin. 3-0. Call for a strike now, 3-1. Dolphins will have 7, 8, and 9. Martin, Weber, and Rodriguez here in the bottom of the second. As that one's fouled back, now make the count full at 3-2. So it'll be 3-2 to Martin. 3-2 from Glasscock. That one is swung on and missed for strike 3. Looked a little bit like an off-speed pitch right there from Glasscock to get the first out of the inning. As I'll bring up Owen Weber here with one away. Glasscock has now recorded his third strikeout. He now has three of his 4 outs so far in this game have all come off the strikeout pitch. As that one has hit the around third shortstop. Play will be made by the third baseman. As it was Martinez for 2 away. So Nicholas Rodriguez comes up with 2 away here in the second. So after a long first inning for Glasscock, he's now 1 out away from a quick second inning. So that with Santos, the CSI pitcher, in the top of this inning. And Rodriguez showing bunt as that one went outside for a ball 1-0. Now, he certainly has the speed to get on to keep the inning going. Very interesting to see him laying down the bunt with 2 away. Now, would bring the Dolphins top of the order up if he were to get on base. Doesn't show bunt there. And he's up in the count 2-0. Rodriguez, second on the team in batting average, .471 so far in the season for him. As he hits this one foul, 2-1. Count will be 2-1. Rodriguez trying to keep the inning going for the Dolphins. We saw this against Caldwell. They had a 2-out rally in the second inning that got them some runs. It's now 3-1, and we saw it from the bottom of their lineup. That's where they got those runs in that game against the Cougars. Can Rodriguez keep the inning going for CSI to get them to the top of the order? 3-1. And he'll have to duck away for ball 4. So the Dolphins will prolong the inning. Top of the order now comes back up for CSI. As Michael Keogh will now come up, trying to keep the inning going for CSI. He worked the walk his last time he came up to the plate. Then reached second on a failed pickoff attempt. Rodriguez taking a good lead at first base. As that one misses inside for a ball 1-0. We'll have to see if the Dolphins do send Rodriguez here. Maybe a potential hit and run scenario if something were good for Keogh to swing at. Call for a strike, 1-1. Count now 1-1 for Keogh. 2 away here in the second. Rodriguez is going. There is a hit and run. Ball has hit the third base. Martinez is there. Good scoop at first base by the Tigers as it was Turner on the scoop, and that retires the side. So the Dolphins did go for the hit and run on that scenario, but were not able to capitalize, and it retires the side here at the bottom of the second. We now go to the top of the third inning. Tigers maintaining their lead. They lead this one, 2-0.
As a student athlete in college, I first got involved with the NCAA at the national level. It was through the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, SAC, gave me an opportunity to advocate on behalf of all student athletes, to affect change and to make an impact. The NCAA is giving the student athlete a platform to voice their concerns and to be able to advocate for what's going to affect their well-being. The policies that are being put in place are speaking towards academics, they're speaking towards well-being, they're speaking towards fairness, creating a culture so that the student athletes have the best experiences possible.
Top of the third inning here at Staten Island University Hospital Community Park. 2-0 lead still for the Tigers as their lone 2 runs coming off the 2-run homer from John Martinez. So that one misses low for a ball, 1-0. Top of the order here for the Tigers as there's a ground ball to first. Martin just gets it to Santos in time for the first out of the inning. Tavera now comes up for the Tigers. That was a close play at first base from Martin, just getting it to Santos in time. Second look on the replay in just a second. Tavera was the one that reached on the error in center field from Keogh as there's a ball 1-0. You see right there, Martin had to quickly scoop up the ball and make that flip. So that one's still in fair territory. Martin will make the catch, and there's now 2 away. So Santos, we saw him get a quick second inning of work after a long first inning. He's now 1 out away from a quick third inning here, keeping this a 2-run game. But it will bring up John Martinez, who is responsible for the 2 runs on this game so far. With that 2-run homer into left field as he swings and misses for a strike 0-1. Officially no more sun in the sky. It is officially nighttime here in Staten Island. So that one's a ball 1-1. Good thing about the sun not being here now. No shadow towards the third base line. We had thought that was going to be an issue early on, but with the game being delayed, it actually was a blessing in disguise for us, as now we get to see down the third base line on our wide shot. The count now is 1-2 for Santos. And it's a strike 3, ball in the dirt. Throw at first base from Vigliotti to Martin in time for the final out of the inning. Another 1-2-3 inning for Gerard Santos. He keeps his team within reach. They go to the bottom of the third inning. Tigers lead this one 2-0. Bottom of the third inning here. 2-0 lead for the Tigers. We've seen quick work out of these 2 stars the previous couple of innings, as Glasscock will now come back out here for the bottom of the third, looking for the same that he had in the previous half inning. Dolphins still searching for their first hit of the game. Michael Palermo will lead it off for the Dolphins here. Now, I am just realizing now you potentially might see the background of our camera indoors. With it being nighttime, there is a little bit of a glare. So you potentially could see the background of the press box that we are currently broadcasting this game from, as that one was outside for a ball 1-0. You noticed that last year when we recorded one of our Dolphin Pod episodes here. There's a strike now 1-1. Now, thankfully, that will all be during the wide shots when the ball is in play, so might not see it as often. But for now, your pitcher-catcher camera, as the count now goes to 2-1. Dolphins will have 2, 3, and 4 in the inning. Palermo, Vigliotti, and Polamini. And that one also misses for a ball, and it's 3-1. We saw Palermo reach on an error at the shortstop, his first time up. As he takes a half-hearted swing, They're going to give him the ball, and it's ball 4. Tigers certainly thought that was strike 2. And it was a late call at the plate, but Palermo gets the walk, and the Dolphins get an early runner on and bring up the tying run at the plate in A.J. Vigliotti. Vigliotti would reach his first time up on a walk. As there's a strike 0-1. Glasscock certainly has had to work for some of his outs so far in this game. As that one misses for a ball, 1-1. Yeah, if you're the Dolphins, if there's anyone in this spot that you would like to have to potentially, with one swing, tie this game, it's certainly the man at the plate, A.J. Vigliotti, obviously supporting his new number 22. As he hits this one into right field, is it still playable? Foul ball. So count now goes to 1-2. Vigliotti went 1 for 3 with an RBI, and the Dolphins win against Caldwell on Friday. As he takes that one high for a ball, now 2-2. We've seen Vigliotti being able to hit the ball the opposite way. Does have a good gap down the right field line as they check the runner at first base. But Palermo's back in time. So count will remain 2-2 for Vigliotti at the plate. Palermo is going. Ball 3, or they actually called a strike. Did they get the out at second? They did not, so Palermo is in. A late strike call at the plate, as I originally thought it looked like that was ball 3, I should say. So Palomini now comes up with a runner on second and 1 away. So Dolphins almost the victim of a strike him out, throw him out right there. But Palermo just able to get there in second. As Palomini will take a ball 1-0. At the replay right here. Palermo got a good jump. Just beats the tag at second. 1-0. Half swing for Palomini, but it's still called for a strike, 1-1. Anthony Sotero on deck after Palomini here. 1 away. Palermo getting a good lead off a second. That one in the dirt. But a good play behind the plate once again by the Tigers catcher Bucci, as it's now 2-1. And that one misses high and inside, and it's 3-1 now. There's an open base at first, obviously, for the Tigers, so if Palomini were to walk, the double play ball would be in effect for Holy Family right here. 3-1. Ripped down the third base line. Good play from Martinez. Throw on to first in time. John Martinez with an unbelievable play down the third base line, saving a run and keeping this team up 2-0 as there's now 2 away. Palomini crushed this one down the third base line, and Martinez was able to get down, scoop it, and make a good throw to first base. We'll get the replay in just a second. Anthony Sotero now up with 2 away. As he takes a ball right there, 1-0. Here's the replay. Right off the bat, Martinez had to go down and grab that one. And a good also play at first base by Turner, realizing where the throw was and having to step off the bag for a second to catch it right there, as there's a strike now, 1-1. Martinez doing it all so far for the Tigers. The 2-run homer, and now a web gem right there to keep them up 2-0. The 1-1 in the dirt for a ball, 2-1. Dolphins trying to ensure they do not leave another runner on scoring position here in this inning. Sotero up with 2 away. Palermo at second. 2-1. That one fouled behind the plate, now 2-2. This next pitch for Glasscock will be his 60th of the game. Dolphins have certainly made him work. Now the 2-2. That one is blooped into foul territory. Going to be a tough play for Turner. Not going to be able to make the play as he went down trying to dive for it. And almost a great play at first base from him in foul territory. Count remains 2-2. And I wasn't looking at you, Lou, this time. I was going to give you the benefit of the doubt, but our statistician, Louis Matrone, looked over to the room next to me because there was the infamous error play almost. I was going to give him the benefit of the doubt, though. Not going to say anything. But he just had to look over. 2-2 to Sotero. And a good play from Bucci to keep that one from going behind the backstop. Count now goes full 3-2. Once again, first base is open, so a walk is certainly not the worst thing here for the Tigers. 3-2 to Sotero. Palermo on second. Dolphins looking for their first hit and first run of the game. And that one misses inside for ball 4. So the Dolphins work another walk, keep the inning going. And Jaden Waterman will come up here. Had an RBI opportunity his last time up and would love to have an opportunity right here once again. Single would bring home a run. And for the Dolphins now, I believe that is now their 5th walk that they have forced here in this game, and it's only the bottom of the 3rd. Talk about Glasscock's pitch count now above 60. As that one missed inside for a ball, 1-0. If Waterman were to keep the inning going, the Dolphins would have Thomas Martin on deck. It'll be a 1-0 to Waterman. That one misses on the outside for a ball, 2-0. Waterman, his first time up, had a 3-1 count. And the fly ball into center field with the bases loaded and 2 away to record the final out of that first inning. Can he get something here? 2-0 count for him right here. And he takes a big swing and a miss for a strike, 2-1. Waterman looking to make a lot of damage with that swing right there. Very hard-thrown fastball to make the count 2-1. 2-1. And that one misses low. So the count now goes to 3-1. And the Dolphins are now 1 pitch away potentially from once again loading the bases. Waterman will have a 3-1 count. And he will work the walk. The 6th Dolphin walk that they've gotten in this game. And for the 2nd time now, they have loaded the bases. So Thomas Martin comes up, bases loaded, 2 away. As we'll get a mound visit for the Tigers right here. Glasscock has had a lot of tough at-bats in this game. He's now over 70 pitches, folks, here in the 3rd inning. And if I'm correct, I believe that these will be 2 7-inning games here tonight. So you know Glasscock would obviously love to get the win. But the Dolphins are not making it easy for him. They're still looking for their first hit also. The Dolphins have been on base a bunch of times here. 6 walks, 2 errors for the Tigers in this game. And I mentioned Martin's ability earlier in his first at bat. He went down swinging the first time he came up to plate. Martin has that home run ability, certainly has that power. Something into the gap right here could give the Dolphins the lead. First pitch to him. And that one misses high and inside for a ball, 1-0. Yeah, if you're Glasscock, you can certainly not afford to walk in a run right here. He's kind of lost his command here in these last few batters. 1-0. And that one misses high again. It's 2-0. This is dangerous territory for the Tigers right here. No open bases. They need to try to get it out somewhere. 2-0. And Bucci just saving that ball from going behind the backstop. And Martin has a 3-0 count. So certainly now no room for error for Glasscock here. No open base. And he cannot afford to throw another ball. One more would bring home the Dolphins' first run of the game. 3-0. That one's in there for a strike, 3-1. So now Martin certainly has the opportunity to swing with the 3-1 count now. Here's the 3-1. And that one misses outside for ball 4. So the Dolphins, who are still looking for their first hit, are able to get on the score column. It's now 2-1. So Owen Weber will come up with 2 away. Bases are still loaded, and the Dolphins now trail this game 2-1. That is now 7 walks for Glasscock in this game. As that one misses for a ball, 1-0. There is action up in the Tiger bullpen. That one down the third base line but goes foul. He has made another good diving play, but that one was well in foul territory. Count now goes to 1-1. Bases loaded, 2 away. Tigers now lead 2-1. And time at the plate. So count 1-1. 2 away. Weber at the plate. Dolphins trail 2-1. A single could give them the lead. And that one is called for a strike. So Glasscock is now 1 strike away from maintaining his team's lead and going into the 4th inning. That one hit foul. Remains 1-2. So another 1-2 from Glasscock to Weber. That one is hit into left center field. And it's going to drop down for a base hit. 1 run will score. Here comes the 2nd run. He will score. Owen Weber with a 2-run single gives the Dolphins not only their first hit of the game, but gives them a 3-2 lead. And the no-hit bid is gone for Glasscock. And not only is that gone, but now his team lead is gone. As the Dolphins, with another 2-out rally here this week, they now take the lead 3-2. And just like we saw against Caldwell, once again, it's the Dolphins' bottom of the order making the most impact. As there's a strike, 0-1. Here's the replay of that 2-run single from Weber. It was tough to see originally with the glare in left field due to the scoreboard, but a great job. Weber got it in the perfect place as there was no play in left field for Leo. And the Dolphins now take the lead for the first time tonight. 1-1. Misses outside, 2-1. Misses outside now, 3-1. And if he were to walk Rodriguez right here, you have to think this might be Glasscock's last at bat of the game. He has certainly lost a lot of command in this inning, unfortunately for him. And he works the walk. So the Dolphins once again will get the bases loaded. And they will get the top of the order up now with Michael Keogh. And I think that will spark a pitching change for the Tigers here. And that is certainly going to be the case. So Glasscock's night is over. And a rough way to end it for him here in the bottom of the third inning. Was 1 out away from getting out of another jam after escaping a first inning jam. But walked in a run and then gave up the 2-run single to Weber. As the Tigers will make a pitching change. As we will head to break for now, we'll get you the pitching change when we come back from this commercial break. The Dolphins now lead this one 3-2.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby.
Inside the 30. Touchdown. Michaela Burgess. An incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org.
Back here from Staten Island University Hospital Community Park, as the Dolphins now have taken a 3-2 lead, coming off a 2-run single from Owen Weber. And we have now seen a pitching change from the Tigers as they go to number 12, Brian Williams, out of relief. And it'll be up to him to get them out of this bases-loaded jam. Dolphins will have the top of the order coming up as Michael Keogh will lead off the inning. For Williams, this will be his second appearance of the season. He has a 3.86 ERA in just 2 1/3 of innings pitched. He's allowed 2 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts so far, and opponents are batting .250 against them on the season. So he goes into a tough spot, obviously facing not only the bases loaded, but with the Dolphin top of the order coming up. And his team now trailing for the first time tonight, 3-2. So here's Keogh now with a huge opportunity to open the game up potentially for CSI. Zawa misses in the dirt, and Bucci once again saving a run right there. So there's a ball 1-0. Keogh on the night 0 for 1 has walked and has a chance right here to add to the CSI lead. 1-0 on the outside for a strike, 1-1. Outside and low for a ball, 2-1. So Gerard Santos has had a long wait in the dugout, but he will certainly take it. With how this inning has gone for CSI, it looked like once again the Dolphins were in danger of not bringing home a run. As that one misses again, and it's 3-1. Glasscock will officially finished with 2 2/3, allowed just the 1 hit, 3 runs, all earned, 4 strikeouts, unfortunately 8 walks. 8 walks. The difference right now from CSI now having this lead. 3-1 from Williams. And that one's a strike. So now the count full, 3-2. The runners will be able to go. So this is an all-important pitch coming up right here for Williams. 3-2, runners will go, 2 outs. Dolphins lead 3-2. The pitch from Williams. Now, did they call that a balk? Now, I'm going to level with you folks. I was just as confused as what happened on that play. Keogh gets the first base. It's now 4-2 CSI. I originally thought that they had called a balk, but with Keogh going to first, maybe it was an early walk, I guess? And I think now they're having a discussion towards the Tiger dugout as to what the call was. Now, the issue with it, it can't be a balk just because of Keogh going to first. Because the at-bat would still continue for him. All my years watching and calling baseball, I've certainly not seen a situation like this. It's not a balk. The issue with it being not a balk is because, and now the umpires will discuss it towards the mound, but the issue with it not being a balk, if it's a balk, then Michael Keogh would still be batting right now. The problem was Keogh had dropped his bat before the pitch was thrown. So the call on the field, whatever the call was, stands as, once again, the Tigers will have a conversation. Head coach Kyle Davis certainly is not happy with the decision on the field. And, folks, I can't say I fully blame him. Now, maybe the viewers at home can listen to what the conversation is at home plate, considering we have the audio from our outside camera. I could not hear that conversation, so I'm not sure what the call on the field was. But regardless, the Dolphins now have a 4-2 lead. And Michael Palermo now comes up for the Dolphins, trying to extend the lead as he takes the first pitch, strike 0-1. So a lengthy debate. Dolphins will certainly take advantage of the decision that was made by the home plate umpire. Now a 4-2 lead for CSI. As Palermo hits this one to first base, Turner will step on the bag to retire the side. But not before the Dolphins get 4 runs in the inning on just 1 base hit, but they were able to work a bunch of walks and now go in to the top of the 4th inning. They lead this one, 4-2 CSI. Top of the 4th inning here at Staten Island University Hospital Community Park, and the Dolphins get a 4-run 3rd inning, all coming with 2 outs. They now lead this one 4-2. Certainly a wild inning for the Dolphins in that 3rd inning. Still trying to figure out what the confirmation was. I'm going to assume that was going to be a walk, but I'm not sure why that sequence, the way it happened. But regardless, the Dolphins took advantage and now take the lead. Zach Morales will lead off for the Tigers here in the top of the 4th inning, as they now try to take back the lead. Dolphins, as I mentioned, seem to be 1 out away potentially from leaving another runner in scoring position. The Dolphins will keep the inning going as there's a strike 0-1. Sotero would walk, Waterman would walk, Martin would walk to bring home the Dolphins' first run. Then Weber had the 2-run single. Rodriguez would walk, and then Keel will get that RBI walk right there. Count now goes to 0-2. So now Gerard Santos, after a lengthy wait in the dugout, now has the lead. As Allen misses for a ball. Two now from Santos. So after being up at the count 0-2, now it's 3-2. And now 3-2 pitch from Santos. And he walked him. So after being up at the count 0-2, Santos throws 4 in a row. And it's a leadoff walk for the Tigers. So Dalton Turner now comes up with nobody out, I should say, and a runner on first. Turner now represents the tying run at the plate for the Tigers. And he hits this one right back to Santos. Throw on to second is in time, and throw on to first is in time. It's a double play for the Dolphins, 1-6-3. And there is now 2 away. A very unconventional double play for CSI Turn right there. But once again, Santos having to get the glove down immediately, made the throw to second, and then they got the throw to first base for the double play. And there's now 2 away here in the 4th. And after this first pitch, we'll give you a replay of that double play turn by the Dolphins. And actually, we'll have a chance right here. Santos was in the right place at the right time. Good job by Rodriguez to get to the bag at second. And made a nice strong throw to first base. And after issuing the leadoff walk, Santos is now an out away from getting out of the 4th inning as that one missed for a ball, 1-0. That one fouled back, count 1-1. Two runs, 2 hits, 2 errors for the Tigers. For the Dolphins, they have 4 runs, 1 hit, and 1 error in this game. As that one's called for a strike, count now 1-2. Dolphins have been able to force 9 walks in this game as that one just misses for a ball. Count now goes to 2-2. Santos and company certainly thought that was strike 3. Have another opportunity here. They're now 2-2. That one again misses on the outside, and the count now goes full 3-2. As I said, 9 walks forced by the Dolphins lineup tonight. Despite the 1 hit, they now have 4 runs in this game. And that one is swung on and missed, foul tipped into the glove of Vigliotti for strike 3. And Gerard Santos, since that first inning home run, has now started to get himself into a groove. His team now goes in to the bottom of the 4th inning with a 4-2 lead.
When all eyes are on the court, we're focused on what matters most, preparing college athletes for a lifetime of opportunity. After the buzzer, off the court, it's about education and working to earn a degree. Creating healthier campuses through groundbreaking research and policies. And a fair shot so dreams can stay on track. United as an association, we've got work to do. We're building a pathway to lifelong opportunity.
AJ Vigliotti will lead off for CSI here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Dolphins now on top 4-2. Dolphins were able to get 4 runs in their previous inning. That one misses for a ball, 1-0. Second inning of relief for Brian Williams. So you saw him come in to get the final out of the previous half inning. I should say the previous inning. So that one misses inside for a ball, now 2-0. And that one misses for a ball, so Vigliotti working the count now to 3-0 to lead off here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Dolphins 1 pitch away from forcing their 10th walk of the game. And they will get it right there. Vigliotti is on with a leadoff walk. Dolphin Vigliotti now remains 0 for 1 in this game and has now walked twice as Polomini now comes up for the Dolphins. He is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. That one drilled into left field, and it's going to go into the wall for a base hit. Past the diving left fielder. Vigliotti's going to come all the way from first to to home, I should say. He lost the helmet in on his run. Polomini's in standing with an RBI triple. The Dolphins lead 5-2. Chris Polomini continues to keep his red-hot start to the season going as he gets an RBI triple right there to give the Dolphins the lead. It's now 5-2 CSI. As we'll get a mound visit. Maybe changes for the Tigers right here. Not sure if you're able to see it off of that play. Leo with the diving attempt in left field and almost was able to make the play and left. But the ball went past his glove and went all the way to the backstop for that RBI triple, giving the Dolphins now a 5-2 lead. That's their second hit now of the game. And none bigger right that. So we had our conference with Tigers manager Kyle Davis. He now goes back to the dugout. I think they were checking to see if Leo was okay in left field. He stays in the game after making that diving attempt to try to keep the game 4-2. But with that miss, it's now 5-2 CSI. As Anthony Sotera now comes up with a runner on third. Now misses low for a ball. I'll show the wide shot for a second. You look at the defensive alignment so far for the Tigers. They're not really playing in, so they're going to concede the run if there is a ground out. So Sotera with a ground ball right here would bring home Polomini. But that one is hit into left center field. Another long run for Leo, and it's going to go past him for a base hit. It's going to be an RBI double for Sotera as he brings home Polomini, and the Dolphins get their third hit of the game. They lead it 6-2. The Dolphins making these outfielders for the Tigers work for these outs. And this one went in between the left and center fielder for Holy Family, and no chance to make the play. Dolphins increase their lead now 6-2 off of that RBI double from Sotera. Sotera has been making some nice strides to start the season. Big hit right there to increase the Dolphin lead to 4. there's a big swing and miss from Waterman. Count is 0-1. So after going hitless for almost 3 innings in this game, the Dolphins now have their first 3 hits of the game and now have 6 runs on the board. 6 unanswered for CSI. As that one's chopped to third. Martinez will throw it on to Turner. And Turner once again with a nice scoop at first to record the first out of the inning. That brings up Thomas Martin. Martin got the first RBI for the Dolphins this game, was able to work a walk in the previous inning for CSI. And keep that inning going to make that point of the game 2-1. Owen Weber will give the Dolphins the lead with that 2-run single. As that one is chopped foul, count 0-1. As I mentioned, a beautiful night here. Here's St. George. Skyline looking great. We'll show a wide shot at the end of this inning. As there's a swing and a miss from Marr, and the count now goes to 0-2. Dolphins will have one more to play here tonight, and then they'll be back here next Saturday night against Caldwell. One more matchup with the Cougars. 0-2. Misses high for a ball, 1-2. One-two. Line to short. Bobble that short. The throw on first base will not be in time. And that will go down as the third error for the Tigers right there. As Sarakia could not handle that one. That's going to be, unfortunately for him, his second error now of the game. And Owen Weber, who had the big hit for the Dolphins in their last inning with that 2-run single, now comes up here. First and second, one away. As he chops that one foul, 0-1. So now 3 errors in this game for the Tigers. Sarakia with 2. Glasgow had the one on the pickoff attempt, in which it went past Turner towards the Tiger bullpen. Count now goes to 0-2 after that previous pitch. Oh, 2. That one's again hit this short. Going to be another tough play for Sarakia. Throw on to first, and it's not scooped up by Turner. The Dolphins will take advantage. 1 run will score. Will they send the second runner? They do not. Sotero will score. We'll see how they score that one. The Dolphins now take a 7-2 lead. A very close play. Rodriguez comes up for the Dolphins here. And they're going to mark that as the 4th error of the game for the Tigers. We have a second. We'll show the replay. That was a bang-bang play, but a low throw from Sarakia. A tough scoop at first for Turner. As that one misses inside, 1-0. Here's a second look. Ground ball to short. Sarakia got it this time. Was able to throw it to first, but a low throw. And if scooped correctly, I shouldn't say correctly, but if scooped on that throw, it would have been an out. That one's hit into center. This will definitely bring home the runner from third. Catch is made in center field. It'll be a sacrifice fly for Rodriguez as Martin will score. The Dolphins now lead this one out 8-2. Now 2 away in the inning. Dolphins top of the order will come up to the plate. As it will be Michael Kehoe. So 2 away here in the bottom of the 4th. Dolphins with back-to-back 4-run innings. 4 in the 3rd, 4 in the 4th. So that one misses for a ball, 1-0. Second look at the sacrifice fly. Very well hit ball in the center field from Rodriguez. As he forces center fielder Comer to go all the way back to make the play. And they got the pickoff at first base. They actually did not. It looked like for a second the umpire signaled that. But the runner is back in time. So count remains 1-0. Now it's on the outside for a strike, 1-1. Runner is going, and there will be no throw. Cal now go to 2-1. That one was a wild pitch. So the count now is 2-1. Now a runner in scoring position for the Dolphins. And Kehoe hits this one to left. Leo again is going to be chasing this one. Does he have a play? He does not. Over his head and off the wall. Kehoe's rounding second. He's going for third. Throw to third base. Is in time for the 3rd out of the inning. Kehoe trying to stretch a double into a triple, but could not get into third base in time. And that is the final out of this 4th inning. The Dolphins do increase their lead now to 9-2 with that RBI double, but could not extend the inning as Kehoe was thrown out at third base. We'll get a second look to see if that was the right call. That will go down as the Dolphins' 4th hit of the game and obviously now their 9th run. Kehoe was certainly not happy with the call. And we'll get a second look right here. Off the bat, didn't look like it was going to keep carrying, but it went over Leo's head. Took a nice one bounce off the wall, but a credit to Leo and the Tigers. He got a good relay throw into the shortstop, Serecchia. Serecchia threw it to third base of Martinez, and Martinez with a good tag at third to get that final out of the inning. So Kehoe retired to end the bottom of the 4th. We'll stay right here for the top of the 5th inning. The Dolphins now have a 9-2 lead. 9 unanswered runs for CSI. 4 in the 3rd. 5 in that previous half inning in the bottom of the 4th inning. Dolphins went through 2 2/3 without a single hit. They have now gotten 4 in this game. 9 runs. And they've also taken advantage of some costly mistakes from the Tigers. They now have 4 errors in this game. And the Dolphins have also been able to issue a bunch of walks for the Tigers in this game. 10 walks have been forced by the Dolphins hitters in this one. And if you're Coach Mike Morrow, you have to love what your offense has done through the midway part of this game. Dylan Mercedes will lead off here at the top of the 5th inning. His team now trailing 9-2. I'll take a second to see what the pitch count is for Santos. He's at 55. You could make the case with the 7th inning game that Santos maybe could go the full distance for the Dolphins here to preserve some of the arms. As that one misses for a ball, 1-0. Santos could certainly make that bid to go the full distance. Depending on what the pitch count or the pitch limit would be for him in this game. That one call for a strike, 2-1. Do see some activity going up in the Dolphin bullpen, but no tossing just yet. That one chopped behind the plate foul, now 2-2. Tigers in this inning. It'll be 6, 7, and 8. Mercedes, Bucci, and Sorokia. Or, correction, 7, 8, and 9. Second time I've done that tonight, folks. Apologies for that. But 7, 8, and 9 they will have here in the top of the 5th inning. As they try to get back into this game. 2-2. That one in line, foul. Not too far from where we're currently sitting. For those that watched on Friday against Caldwell, a foul ball that was, I would say, a few feet away from hitting the camera that was outside, where we currently have our batter pitcher cam. This count now goes to 3-2. So we were better safe than sorry on that occasion. That one to my left of where we're currently standing here in the press box here. It's a 3-2. It's on the outside and call for a ball 4. So a leadoff walk for the Tigers here at the top of the 5th. Emilio Bucci now comes up here. Dolphins do have someone warming with the bullpen, but it could be their Game 2 starter. There's a possibility it could be the Game 2 starter. So that one's called for a strike. As mentioned, the Dolphins are able to take both games tonight. They would go to 500 on the season. The record of 4-4. They were able to get both tonight. On a good pace to get this first one. The count now goes to 1-1. After today, the Dolphins will go to East Stroudsburg on Wednesday. They will take on the Warriors. This is for a ball 2-1. Go to first base. Almost got him at first. As Mercedes was almost picked off by Santos. Count still 2-1. That one hit into center, but caught by Keogh for the first out of the inning. Nice job by Michael Keogh to track that one down and record the first out of the top of the 5th. Gino Sorokia now coming up to the plate for the Tigers here with one away. As he takes a strike, 0-1. Half-hearted swing. Call for a strike. 0-2. Santos checks the runner again at first base. Stays back in time. Misses. Count now 1-2. Chow down the first base line. Martin will step at the bag at first. Will not make the throw to second. So 3 unassisted right there from the Dolphin first baseman. It is now 2 away. So Comer now comes up here with 2 away. He's 0 for 2 on the night. And he takes a big swing and a miss for a strike, 0-1. He has a runner on second now with 2 away. Runner on second being Mercedes. So the Tigers are now back to the top of their order. Misses for a ball 1-1. Now 1-1 count here for Santos. So he gets that one on the outside for a strike. Now 1-2. Santos' pitch count. I think that was pitch number 70 for him, that previous pitch. As that one's popped up in the air. In fair territory, Weber will make the play and record the final out of the top of the 5th inning. Tigers straight a runner on second. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Dolphins lead this one, 9-2.
On and off the court, we're focused on creating lifelong opportunity. And that starts with education. More college athletes are earning degrees than ever before, but we've still got work to do. That's why we're raising the bar for incoming freshmen, so they're prepared when they get to campus. And why teams can't play in championships unless they make the grade. Education matters, and putting academics first creates a pathway to a lifetime of opportunity.
Bottom of the 5th inning here at Staten Island University Hospital Community Park. Tigers having a pitching change. As Joe Giasante now coming on for the Tigers. They trail this one 9-2. Dolphins with 9 unanswered runs in their previous 2 innings, as they now have the 7-run lead. Now, I'm obviously solo for tonight's 2 games here at SIUH Community Park. Our broadcast partner, my broadcast partner, Joe Foreman, on his way to Florida. His flight should be leaving in just a few minutes, as he will be with the softball team for their spring games in Winter Haven, Florida. They get underway tomorrow morning, 9:15 a.m. Their first game against Bemidji State University. Now, Joe has told us that he's going to try to live stat some of those games. Not sure if he's going to live stat all of them, but he will be there to live stat and potentially call some of the games in Winter Haven. Joe has said, from what I remember, Flow Sports, and also check CSI Sportsnet on YouTube for those broadcasts. And also check CSI's social media pages for any info on the Dolphins' upcoming trip to Florida. Dolphins will be playing 2 on Monday, 2 on Tuesday, 2 on Wednesday, 2 on Thursday, and then they wrap up their trip on March 8th, next Friday, in Winter Haven. And then they will be back at the softball complex on March 14th for a doubleheader with Georgian Court. As the bottom of the 5th inning is now here. I just got a text from Joe. He says flight is delayed. Not the thing you want to hear, as there's a ground ball to first base. Turner will step on the bag for the first out of the inning. AJ Vigliai now comes up for the Dolphins here with 1 away. Next time we are here live on the ECC Network will be for the game next week here at Staten Island University Hospital Community Park, with the Dolphins taking on the Cougars of Caldwell University. There's a ball 1-0 to Vigliotti. Now, Joe has told me he's going to be doing live stats and calling for 6 out of the 10 games, potentially 7 for the Dolphins games. And for stats, he's definitely doing 7. That one was fouled up by Vigliotti. Count now goes to 1-1. So Joe will be there in Winter Haven to do that for the CSI softball team. They're coming off a nice start to their season. They're 3-1 early on. For those that watched, we saw them on Monday, picking up a nice doubleheader win. It's Chestnut Hill. Vigliotti now has a count of 2-1. And he now works the count to 3-1. Now it misses inside for ball 4. And Vigliotti works a 1-out walk. So Joe is now saying that he will not be there for the Wednesday games and possibly the first game on Thursday. So those would be the games that he would not be in attendance for potentially. Wednesday for sure, potentially Thursday. So definitely stay tuned to our social media for any news regarding the Dolphins' upcoming trip to Florida for the next couple days. So that one's behind Polamini for a ball 1-0. Monster hit for him in the last inning to extend the Dolphin lead. An RBI triple. He takes a swing and a miss there at 1-1. Count now 1-1 for Polamini after that previous pitch. He takes another big swing and a miss for a strike, 1-2. Joe Giasanti was the pitcher that came in relief for the Tigers here. This will be his first appearance of the season. So they're going to keep the game 9-2 going into the 6th. He shoots the 1-out walk to Vigliotti and now has Polamini in a 2-2 count. That one in the dirt. Vigliotti will go to second base as it goes behind the backstop. And that will go down as a wild pitch. Being told the full coverage schedule will come out tomorrow morning. It will be on the schedule page now. So for those looking to look at the schedule page, check out CSI Dolphins. Polamini will work the walk, so the Dolphins will have first and second here with 1 away. Anthony Sotero comes up, and he had a monster hit as well his last time up. He brought home Polamini with that RBI in his previous at-bat, and he'll have first and second here with 1 away. Now misses for a ball 1-0. Swing and a miss there from Sotero. Now makes the count 1-1. That one misses for a ball. Now count 2-1. Again, double action going up in the Tiger bullpen. So that one's up the middle for a base hit. Vigliotti turned the corner at third base but was held up. So Sotero will get a single right there, his second hit of the game, 5th of the game for CSI, and they once again have loaded the bases here with 1 away. Jaden Waterman will have another bases-loaded opportunity right here. He's 0 for 2, scored a run, has also walked. Sotero with that last hit now has 2 of the 5 Dolphin hits in this game. So that one misses high and inside for a ball 1-0. Dolphins bats have come alive in these last few innings. And I saw from this room an extra run was added for the Dolphins. They're trying to get the Dolphins an extra run early on. For a second, it was 10-2 on the scoreboard. Jaden Waterman would certainly like to make that the case here if he can get on base. And he might have just done it there. Here's a shallow fly ball to left field. Leo will make the play. Vigliotti is tagging. The throw to home will not be in time. And that run can now be added on the board. It's 10-2 CSI. Another sacrifice fly for Jaden Waterman as he brings home Vigliotti from third to give the Dolphins now a 10-2 lead. Dolphins have now scored in 3 straight innings. Yeah, I love the hustle from Vigliotti on that play as well. Double steal from the Dolphins, and they will get both. A rare double steal from CSI, and they now have second and third here with 2 away. A little bit of a hesitation for Bucci throwing it to third base. And that allowed the Dolphins to get the runner from first to second, and they now have a chance to bring home 2 more. This count now goes to 1-1. Base hit for Martin right here could bring home 2 more for CSI to extend their lead to 10. One count. That one foul right at the netting behind home plate. Count goes to 1-2. Martin got the first RBI of the game for the Dolphins with that RBI walk in the third. Extending the Dolphin inning when they got 4 runs. On the night, he is 0 for 2 as he hits this one to third. Going to be a tough play for Martinez at first base. And it was not able to make the play. As the Dolphins now take an 11-2 lead. Owen Weber now coming up. Take a second look at the replay for that previous at-bat with Martin. An 11-2 lead now for the Dolphins. That would have been a tough play, so they're going to mark that as an RBI single for Martin. Ball went down the third base line, hit off of the third base bag, it seemed. And Martinez did not make the throw, I should say, to first base. By the time he picked up the ball, Martin was pretty much almost at first. So that'll go down as an infield hit. 6th of the game for CSI. Quickly an 0-2 count here. That one hit to Martinez. He will make the play and retire the side. Dolphins strand 2, but they also score 2 as we now head to the 6th inning. CSI leads this one 11-2.
Across divisions, sports, championships, and schools for nearly 500,000 student athletes. College sports create lifelong opportunity, and that starts with education. We've raised the academic bar, so more are earning degrees, creating healthier campuses by working with the nation's brightest minds, and making sure more have the chance to succeed and are supported on their journey. But beyond the numbers, it's about opportunity, and we're working to provide it for every student athlete.
Devon Navarro will lead off the top of the 6th inning. 11-2 lead now for CSI. Another inning of work for Gerard Santos as he throws a strike 0-1. That one chopped to second. Sotero on to first in time for the first out of the inning. Sotero threw that to the new first baseman for the Dolphins, Chris Bartnick, as he's now in at first base for Thomas Martin. So Martin's night is done here in game 1. Bartnick now gets the rest of the way here. As there's now one away, here's John Martinez. He is responsible for the lone runs for the Tigers. With that 2-run home run in the first inning, he is 1 for 2 in the night. That's just one of the 2 hits for the Tigers in this game. And he'll add to his hitting column right there as that one's past the diving Weber for a base hit. He's going to second. Palermo's throw is cut off, and it will not be in time. It was almost cut off by Rodriguez, got to the bag as Sotero almost got him at second base, but it is a 1-out double for Martinez. Here 1 away, as that's now the 3rd hit for the Tigers. That one swung on a miss for a strike, 0-1. Great attempt at third base from Weber to almost make the play. And we had a balk, so the Dolphins. Martinez now goes to third base. Count now goes to 1-1. One. Half swing, call for a strike now, 1-2. Zach Morales at the plate for the Tigers here. And he swings at 1-2. He might have foul tipped it on that one, so the count will remain 1-2. That one inside for a ball. Now 2-2. Two. That one drilled foul into right field. Two. That one was low and away for ball 3. Now fell at 3-2. Santos now at 78 pitches on the night. He's got a full count at 3-2. And he got him for strike 3. So Morales thought that was ball 4. And he got called looking. So 2 away now in the inning. Darnell Guerrero is going to pinch hit here for the Tigers with Martinez on third. So that one misses for a ball, 1-0. It's Now 7 strikeouts now in the night for Santos. So misses for a ball, now 2-0. This will be Guerrero's 11th at bat of the season. Strike now 2-1. Looking to do some damage here. Try to bring home that runner from third. Two-one. Call for a strike. Now even the count at 2-2. So Santos a strike away from getting out of the 6th inning, keeping his lead at 9. 2-2. Misses high for ball 3. So count now full 3-2. Runner on third, 2 away. Dolphins with an 11-2 lead here. Trying to close out this first game of this doubleheader as Guerrero swings and misses for strike 3. 8th punch out of the night for Gerard Santos. As he now heads into the dugout, his team goes into the bottom of the 6th with an 11-2 lead. Foul ball for the first pitch for Nicholas Rodriguez here at the bottom of the 6th inning. 11-2 lead for the Dolphins. Count now going to 1-2. That one goes over the catcher and behind the backstop, now 2-2. Nine, 1-2 for the Dolphins here in the bottom of the 6th inning. After being down 0-2 in the count, it's now full at 3-2. Three-two. Swung on and missed for strike 3. So Rodriguez goes down swinging for the first out of the 6th. Michael Keogh now coming up here with one away. He takes one inside for a ball, 1-0. Keogh on the night, 1 for 2, has 2 RBIs. On his last at bat, was trying to stretch a double into a triple, but was thrown out at third base. Let's taste that one for a strike, 1-1. Still have one more game scheduled here tonight. So this is for a ball now, 2-1. The game most likely will start 10 to I would say 10 to 15 minutes after this one is over. The game was scheduled for 7:30 as that one's hit into shallow right field. But the catch will be made in right field. As that was Guerrero who made the play. He now goes into right field. Morales, who was the original right fielder for the Tigers, now goes to first base replacing Turner. And there is now 2 away. Dolphins will now have their pitch hitter. Anthony Irace coming in. So Anthony Irace coming up here with 2 away. And certainly an interesting walk-off song for Anthony Irace here. Not the song I was expecting to hear. As he takes a ball 1-0. For Irace, this will be his 6th at-bat of the season. As he's up in the count 2-0. So a lot of Irace last season for this Dolphins team. And he drills this one into right field, but it will be caught by Guerrero for the final out of the inning. Dolphins go down 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the 6th. We now head to the top of the 7th inning. Dolphins lead this one, 11-2.
Chi Aesthetics Med Spa and Wellness Center. Our approach to beauty and wellness begins with a holistic plan tailored to the unique needs of our patients. When we consult with patients, we let them tell us what their problem is. We don't tell them what the issue is. We find out what they're looking for, and we discuss, and then we give them options. If you're looking to achieve radiant skin, you've come to the right place. We offer hydrofacials, microneedling, Opus Plasma, peels, facial and laser treatments, laser hair removal, body sculpting, fat freezing, hormone replacement therapy, Botox, IV drip therapy, and more. We are open Monday through Saturday and are located at 720 Forest Avenue, Staten Island, New York, 10310. We hope to see you soon. Visit our website at www.chiaesthetics.com for more information.
Nick Pucciolini will come in here for the Dolphins in the top of the 7th inning. They lead this one 11-2. See on your screen, Tigers with 2 runs, 3 hits, 4 errors. The Dolphins 11 runs on 6 hits and 1 error in this game. As Gerard Santos is done for the night and could not have asked more from your starter in this game if you were CSI. Santos' final line for the night, 6 innings pitched, 2 runs, 1 earned, 2 walks, 3 hits, 8 strikeouts in this game through 92 pitches. Will Cheatham will lead it off here as he will pinch hit to start the top of the 7th inning. The Tigers will start to have a couple new faces here in the later parts of this game. And Cheatham hits this one into deep left field. And that's going to go off the wall. Cheatham will think about going to third. He will stand at second. We're talking about making an impact right off the bat. It is a leadoff double for Will Cheatham here to lead off the 7th. And I will say, folks, I originally had trouble seeing that ball. I could not tell if that went over the wall for the home run. Cheatham drilling this one into left center field, and no chance for the Dolphins to make the play right there. As that will go down as the 4th hit of the game for the Tigers. Misses for a ball, 1-0. Dylan Mercedes once again up to the plate. That one skips and goes behind the backstop. And Cheatham will now go to third. Count now goes to 2-0. And that one's going to hit Mercedes. So Caden Manis now coming up to the plate for the Tigers. He came in the last inning as a defensive substitution. Now get his first at bat of the night. The Tigers now will have first and third, no one away here in the 7th. First pitch is called for a strike inside, 0-1. I'd be remiss from not mentioning the Dolphins women's basketball team getting ready for their playoff action. As that one is drilled into left field. Will that stay fair? It does. It's going to go for a base hit and go off the wall. One run will score. Will the Tigers send the second runner? They do not. Manis with an RBI double into left field. And it's now 11-3 Dolphins. Well, Olivario now coming up for the Tigers here. And a ripping shot into left field for Manis right there. As it's now the 5th hit for Holy Family. And they're now 3rd run of the game. We'll get a second look at that in just a second. This is for a ball, 1-0. That's with a great shot into left field. No chance to make the catch. It's Christopher Riley, the new third baseman, as that wild pitch goes behind and brings home the 4th run for the Tigers. It's now 11-4. Still nobody away for the Tigers here. It's now 11-4 CSI off of the wild pitch. Now, as I mentioned, Christopher Riley now the new defensive substitution for CSI. He's now in left field as that one's fouled behind the backstop, up 2-1. He replaces Iracy, who pinched hit for Palermo the previous half inning. Olivario now is in a 2-2 count. So Olivario now 2-2. That one in the dirt. blocked. Good by Vigliotti. So the count now is 3-2. Dolphins do have action up in their bullpen. See how long they potentially go to their reliever. 3-2. Swung on and missed for strike 3. So Puzzanelli gets a huge out, number 1. He really needed that to spark him in the sitting. As now there is one away. Showing bunt attempt and missing ball 1-0. Showing the attempt was center fielder Brian Comer, who was 0 for 3 on the night. For his first hit and potential RBI opportunity for him right here. This count now evens at 1. One. Swung on and missed for a strike. Count now goes to 1-2. This is 2-2. I mentioned earlier the Dolphins women's basketball team will be playing the first round of the ECC Women's Basketball Championship Tournament on Wednesday. Now misses the count, now goes full 3-2. Dolphins will be in Washington to take on the Firebirds of UDC. Dolphins looking to once again have some magic. They beat the same UDC team the last season in the playoffs and were able to get a postseason win. As there's call for strike 3. So Puzzanelli gets the second out of the inning, and Comer was visibly frustrated by the strike 3 call at the plate. So now 2 away, and it brings up Devera. As I was saying, the Dolphins women's team will be in action on Wednesday against UDC. Now for the men's team, they were able to secure a first-round bye by clinching a top 2 seat in the standings. So the Dolphins men's basketball team will await their opponent on Saturday as they will be in Spark Hill, New York, waiting in the semifinals. Count now goes to 1-1. So the Dolphins men's and women's team on Wednesday night, senior night. There's a swing and a miss for a strike, 1-2. Both teams able to secure a win. And now they await their postseason action. That game on Wednesday for the women's team at 7 o'clock. The count now goes to 2-2. Wednesday night in Washington, D.C. How misses on the outside. The count now goes full 3-2. So now full count here. Called for strike 3. And that is going to do it for the first game of this doubleheader. As the Dolphins pick up an 11-4 win here over the Tigers of Holy Family University. A great showing from CSI, down early 2-0 after the home run from John Martinez. But the Dolphins would fight their way back, scoring 4 in the third, 5 in the fourth, and adding another 2 in the 5th inning. And they would hold on for an 11-4 win in the first game of this doubleheader tonight here at Staten Island University Hospital Community Park. The win now pushes the Dolphins to a record of 3-4 in the season. The loss will drop the Tigers of Holy Family to a record of 3-4 as well. And we'll show the final tally for this game for the Tigers. 4 runs, 5 hits, 4 errors in this game. Those errors proved to be costly, unfortunately, for Holy Family and for the Tigers. 11 runs on 6 hits and the 1 error. And something the Dolphins did really good in this game, working walks. Dolphins forced 12 walks in this game. Tally that on with the 4 errors. The Dolphins did not need that many hits in this game, but they did get 6. 2 of them from Anthony Sotero, 1 from Michael Keogh, 1 from Chris Polamini, 1 from Thomas Martin, and 1 from Owen Weber. And Weber being the one that gave the Dolphins the 3-2 lead, which would give them the lead at that point in the game, and they would not lose that lead as they were able to hold on for this 11-4 win. Now, we would tend to think that this second game of the doubleheader will start in about 10 to 15 minutes. So what we're going to do here on Sportsnet, we're going to sign off here for Game 1. As soon as Game 2 is just a few minutes away, I will be back on the call here at Staten Island University Hospital Community Park for the second game of this doubleheader between the Tigers and the Dolphins, as CSI looks to take the doubleheader and sweep. Meanwhile, the Tigers look to split it, as these teams now go to 3-4 on the year after the result of this first game. So, for now, I will sign off here on CSI Sportsnet on the ECC Network. Dolphins take the first game of the doubleheader between them and the Tigers. Final one, 11-4 CSI. We'll be back in just a few moments for game number 2 of tonight's NCAA Division II baseball doubleheader action.